We begin this episode seeing Rick Flag Sr. kissing Princess Restovic goodbye as he explains he must take Cersei in for interrogation. After jokingly suggesting for Rick Flag to just kill Cersei, she expresses she has feelings for him, and Rick sorta gives her the cold shoulder by simply saying he must go while walking away. Next, we see Weasel's lawyer haggle John about his whereabouts. He explains he's been sick. She calls him out for being a terrible liar. Suddenly, she sees Weasel walking out of the helicopter with the rest of the team. She rushes out and confronts Rick Flag and insists her client is innocent after Rick brings up his past crime. Simultaneously, we see that Frankenstein has tracked down the bride and appears to be jealous of Rick Flag. His insecurities get the best of him and he deletes the soldiers he paid to fly him to Belle Reve prison. I'm getting sick of his big ass being violent with people. As Weasel is just staring out into the distance, we get a quick flashback of a group of children befriending Weasel by feeding him. I have a feeling Weasel didn't unalive these children and the story is more complex than the narrative that's been placed on him. We cut to seeing Cersei be escorted into the interrogation room. She threatens to kill the guards' families before Amanda Waller announces herself. Amanda confronts Cersei about all her crimes and begins to read her down and refers to her as another red-headed supervillain with a skimpy outfit. Waller did not come to play with the girls at all. Cersei informs Waller she was trying to save the world by killing the princess. Amanda isn't buying what Cersei is selling. However, Cersei offers to show her the future. John Economos confirms that Cersei is clairvoyant and can see the future. Amanda contemplates allowing Cersei into her head, but Rick Flag Sr. urges her not to do it. Suddenly, we see Weasel and his attorney. She lays out photos of the children he supposedly harmed in hopes that she would get a reaction that would prove his innocence. As this is happening, we get another flashback of Weasel playing with the kids in the schoolyard. An elderly man notices him playing with the children and a look of concern emerges on his face. We cut back to current day and Weasel eats and spits out one of the photos. His lawyer gets frustrated but seems to be determined to prove he didn't harm these kids. We catch up with Amanda Waller and she enters the room with Cersei. Cersei walks towards her and asks, "Are you ready?" Amanda responds, "Ready for what?" before Amanda could finish the sentence. Cersei enters her mind. We get to see Cersei's vision of an evil Princess Restovic violently taking over the world, with Gorilla Grodd assisting her with this execution of world domination. In this vision, we also see heroes such as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and many other characters, lifeless corpses impaled on sticks that have been staked into the ground. Amanda yells and falls to her knees while perspiring, as Cersei simply stares at her with tears in her eyes. She informs Rick and John about what she saw and calls in a specialist to confirm if she can trust Cersei's vision. This woman is supposedly very knowledgeable about all things with the mascara and expresses Cersei was able to save a few Amazons by informing them a tsunami would hit their shores. She assures Amanda Waller that she's unable to make things up, but can only see pieces of the future. Amanda orders Rick Flag to gather the Creature Commandos, travel back to Pokolistan, and kill the princess. Rick Flag refuses and quits the team. John asks Amanda, "What are we going to do now?" Amanda responds, "Find someone who's less bitchy, but more of a bitch." Amanda Waller is one of my favorite sociopaths. We cut to the bride standing in line to receive lunch. As Dr. Phosphorus and she walk away from the line, they notice Nina Mazursky getting bullied by this golden gorilla. He takes her food, but the bride intervenes and nearly kills Nina's bully. I really wish Nina would stand up for herself more. John Economos approaches the bride and tells her she'll be leading the team back to Pokolistan and they should get ready to leave. We catch up with Rick Flag Sr. He tries to call the princess as he's driving home but was unsuccessful. He arrives at his home and notices Frankenstein has followed him. He tries to quickly enter his home as Frankenstein runs towards him, however Rick Flag wasn't fast enough and he and Frankenstein begin to brawl. I continue to be impressed by Rick Flag's ability to hold his own against metahumans. Rick Flag realizes Frankenstein's eyes is his weak spot and holds him at gunpoint and demands the monster calm down and explain why he's attacking him. Frankenstein expresses his concerns with Rick Flag's relationship with the bride. Rick Flag explains there's nothing going on between them. Both gentlemen realize it's just a misunderstanding. Rick offers him coffee and tea, and both characters begin to bond over their struggles in their respective romantic situations. Well, Frankenstein is quite delusional about his situation, but Rick Flag isn't aware that he's a stalker. Also, they agree to team up to prevent Princess Rostovik from being murdered. This scene was actually hilarious. I hope Frankenstein will accept reality by the end of the series. Next, we see our team of monsters on their aircraft, headed back to Pokolistan. Nina asks the bride, why are they traveling back to Pokolistan to kill the princess? The bride explains she wasn't given a reason. We see that Weasel is taking a nap, which leads us into another flashback. We see the children Weasel befriended go into their school that appears to be closed for the holidays. They begin to explore the basement area of the school and accidentally start a fire. While they're playing, one child begins to run to get help, but the old man returns with a shotgun. Thinking the kids were in danger, he shoots at Weasel but ends up shooting a gas tank, creating an explosion that unalives all the children except for one. Weasel tries to save her, but the cops surround the building and begin to shoot at him, not realizing he's trying to save a child. He tries to escape out of one more exit, but the police officers shoot him multiple times, weakening him so they can arrest him. The little girl he was trying to save goes unnoticed and dies in the fire. Weasel screams as he's dragged away by the cops. This scene was quite sad. The old man, who couldn't mind his business, made the situation worse, and the cops' own incompetence didn't allow them to assess a situation before acting, so they couldn't see that Weasel was trying to save a child from dying. They only saw a monster that needed to be stopped. We cut back to the current day. As Weasel is reliving this tragic moment of his life, Nina Mazursky tells the bride, I wonder what he's dreaming about. The bride simply responds, he's probably chasing squirrels. The episode fades to black. This was another good episode. It seems like we're going to get the backstory of a different character each week, which I think works with the pacing of the show. The bride is going to freak out when she learns Rick Flag and Frankenstein have joined forces. I wonder if Amanda ordering the hit on the princess will trigger some events that will cause the princess to turn evil. Lastly, the Weasel backstory was quite heartbreaking. He connected with some friendly children and sadly was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He really tried to save that little girl and didn't get assistance from people who are supposed to protect and serve. Because all they can see is a monster dragging a child. Also, it sucks that he can't speak because he cannot verbally defend himself. This is a being who's been framed for murder and wrongfully imprisoned. I know there's only so much time we have with each episode, but I would love to know where Weasel came from. Is he an experiment that escaped from a lab, or is he a natural occurrence in the DCU? Lastly, the writing in the show is excellent and the quality of the animation is pretty consistent. I rate this episode a solid B. If you like this review, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.